So right now we're standing in one of San Diego, definitely San Diego, maybe even Encinitas' secret neighborhoods. We'll tell you where it is. It's an awesome spot. This guy grew up out here, so he's gonna fill us in on what it's actually like to live out here. We're walking right now. Part of the thing it's like, there's literally like a dirt road right in front of us. It's kind of old school, it's rural, it's cool, it's spread out. We're gonna get into all that. The name of the spot is Olivenhain. We're on the eastern portion of Encinitas, and people exploring out here, yeah, you might be looking at Encinitas, you might be looking at all the big cities, but we've mentioned this spot before. Part of the thing when you're looking and thinking about Olivenhain, you really got to get out there and check it out, because there's a bunch of different little areas which we'll get into, a bunch of different, there's not really master plan communities, but a lot of custom stuff there. It's just a really neat area. So one of the things you do have to get out here, you can hit us up too, we'll send you to a few spots, is explore it. Get out, maybe even do what we're doing, park somewhere and walk around to see what it's all about. So anyways, without further ado, right now we're at the meeting hall. It's kind of the central spot. I'm gonna turn around, make Cassidy stop real quick, but right back there, that's kind of like one of the central, it's like the kind of one of the only central places here in Olivenhain, because it's not super convenient, which we'll get into as well. But anyways, they have some events and stuff through there throughout the year. But other than that, how's it living out here? How was it growing up out here?
It's funny. I loved growing up out here. We spent a ton of time outside. There's a ton of just outdoor space, a lot of open space in Olivenhain. So that part of it was awesome. Like Chris mentioned, it's not the most convenient. So as a kid, I didn't love the fact that I had to be driven to friends' houses and things like that. But now that I'm a little older, I love that part of it. Love that you get space. Most of the lots out here are 2+ acres. So you have some separation from neighbors. You've got a ton of amenities on your own property. Pools, you see a lot of sports courts, tennis courts, things like that out here, which you don't get in kind of the suburban neighborhood. So it is, in a nutshell, an awesome community and great to live in.
It's partially equestrian. You will find some equestrian properties out here. So if you like horses or you're into horses, this is a really good spot to eyeball. But even if not, you can use the horse trails they have out here. So I come out here a lot and cruise way back. You get near, it basically butts up against Escondido on the back end. You get a lot of trails that go way far out there. So that's a good way to explore too, is hopping on these trails, run around, walk around, whatever it might be, and kind of get back behind some of these neighborhoods where you have some beautiful views and you kind of see what it actually would be like living here a little bit too.
So right now we're getting to 8th Street and Cole Ranch, and which is right off of Ranch Santa Fe. All these little streets kind of stem off Ranch Santa Fe, which is the main drag through Olivenhain. And this neighborhood here actually has a little bit of a neighborhood feel where most of them don't. We've got a lot of custom houses. Like Chris mentioned, there's not a lot of master plan communities, but there are a couple tract neighborhoods. We've got Knightsbridge, which is a gated community way at the end of Lone Jack Road, which we're walking towards right now. And then you've also got Fortuna Ranch. So they're tract neighborhoods, but they're still huge lots, huge houses. So they don't really have that tract feel that you're used to in the Village Parks, San Alejo Hills, those type of neighborhoods.
And it's gorgeous back here today. You're far enough back off the coast where you don't always get that coastal marine layer. I mean, today there's no, you would think we're filming at the beach today. We're rocking we got our flip-flops on, but we're actually a little bit further back. Once you get to, obviously coastal Encinitas, it's a totally different ball game back there. So anyways, as you're cruising down, it is, like I said, we're probably like 3-4 miles back right here from the beach. But once you go further back down Lone Jack, which is the main road, it is, I don't know, how far do you think that is back there? 5 miles?
Yeah, probably something like that. It's a hike. That's one of the drawbacks of Olivenhain, is that it's just a hike to get to really anything.
Yeah.
Especially as you go further out, some of these, Camino del Norte and Lone Jack, you can get a ways out there and it can take you 10 minutes to get back to Ranch Santa Fe Road, which is then another 15 or 20 minutes to Target, Home Depot, all those infrastructure stuff in Encinitas.
And back here, like we mentioned, most of the housing is single family housing. There's a small kind of, what would you say, Lake Valsereno? It's like townhomes?
Yeah, townhomes. Yeah.
Townhomes where you're sharing one wall back there. It's a very small little neighborhood, but it's kind of cool if you are, like, it's definitely the most affordable area of Olivenhain. But there is, so the main road, Rancho Santa Fe going through, definitely during busier times, since it is the only way out of here, in and out. You come through Encinitas Boulevard on this side, you pop out on Leucadia Boulevard basically on the other side, and then the whole track in the middle, that's where everybody's funneling to living out here. But it's also a cut through, so a lot of people during rush hours, during busier times, there's no lights back here, like stoplights and stuff. It's stop signs,
so
yeah.
Every 100 feet.
Yeah, that's where it gets backed up. So there is also, right at the corner, there's a 7-Eleven, and right there, didn't you say it just got approved? They're
Yep.
working on it right now?
Yep, there'll be apartments that are going in right across from the 7-Eleven. The community of Olivenhain and Encinitas fought hard, but it didn't work out. So there will be kind of a lot more traffic on that south end of Rancho Santa Fe road in the next 2 to 3 years, I would guess.
Yeah.
Is kind of when construction will start, probably in the next year here, and a couple years worth of building. But so a lot of folks in Olivenhain are already planning that they're only going to be going northbound on Rancho Santa Fe road to stay away from that traffic. And it's not that big of a deal to go to Leucadia versus
Hop on
Manchester
here.
if you're trying to get to the freeway.
So we are coming back here, crossing one of the trails. This one's called Meadow Mist Trail, and it goes way back here. This is kind of what you're going to see back here. For these trails, they wrap around. They're nice, they're wide, they're big, they go for a while. I love it. I've been back here so many times, and I literally find like this little area too. It's not a trail, but it's little cut throughs, little areas that you wouldn't even see. Like, you won't find them on a map. They're not marked. You just have to get out here and actually explore. And Cassie actually mentioned something else. Trees, avocado trees. You find a lot of just different fruit trees,
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff out here on your property. So
vineyards also.
yeah, there's a few vineyards out here, but we're going to continue mushing on back to Rancho Santa Fe, and where they're going to build that new community, that new apartment complex. There's a 7-Eleven right there, but then right across the street, that's going to be, a lot of people that live out here do just hit it up. There's Harvest Ranch Market. So right at the corner, that's like your closest spot where you're going to go grab some food. It is right, is that whole town center, Harvest Ranch Town Center, is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and it's right there, and there's a few little restaurants in there. There's a great Italian spot. That's an Italian spot where I met this guy for the first time many moons ago, actually. Firenze.
Good spot.
Yeah, there's a good little French bakery there. Grab some coffee, and a few other little spots. I would keep eyeing it. There was a Mexican food spot, went belly up, but I would assume sooner or later they'll get something else in there. Anyways, that's like kind of the only convenience, only infrastructure right around here.
You don't want to forget eggs if you live in Olivenhain.
What if you have chickens on your lawn?
Well, no, that's great.
Or at your house.
At your house, that's fine. That works. But it's just not the most convenient. It's a lot of folks that live out here don't leave it. Don't leave very often. Do a big Costco run, and my folks still live in Olivenhain, so they exited for like 3 years and realized that you can't live without it. And they don't leave a ton. So it is the perfect spot if you love being kind of a homebody.
And one thing, once you get to the end of Lone Jack, there is a somewhat new community. It's within the past few years. It's called One Oak. It's going up this hill. Some of the best views in all of Olivenhain. You're looking back towards the west. Some are on the east too, but the ones looking towards the west are fantastic, and they're, like I said, within the last few years, so brand new builds, which you don't find a ton out here, and it's just it's kind of unique out here for Olivenhain.
So for types of houses, obviously, like we've talked about, there's a lot of custom options, so they're all very unique and different. But kind of in this section we're walking through right now, there's a lot of kind of that ranch style original single story houses, kind of like the one behind me right on the side. But then there's also probably even more of the larger 3,000 square foot plus houses, kind of from this neighborhood mostly is like 70s and up. You do see still some of those original like 70s style single stories, or 70s style 2 stories, which are just a little less of that modern feel.
So as we just crossed Camino del Norte, which is actually shoots you into like Rancho Santa Fe and stuff, and
even out to like Escondido, like all the way out.
Yeah, it goes pretty far. So it is, we did mention, or no, we're talking about there's no sidewalks out here. So like walkability, you got the trails, all the trails are dirt.
So if you're looking in Olivenhain, or if this seems like a spot that you might want to look, there's also a couple other options. You've got Elfin Forest is just on the northeast border of Olivenhain, and it's going to be a little bit more affordable. Still kind of that rural, actually even a little bit more of that rural feel out that way. Still has like equestrian, still has a bunch of trails and stuff back there, so that's a good option. And if you're looking kind of in that upper tier, a little bit more expensive, Rancho Santa Fe is a great option too. It's just going to be a little bit more pricey. And a little more country clubby feel, a little more golf. You know, there's a golf course out there, but it kind of has that feel a little more than the rural feel.
Yeah, and you're out here, like I said, you're still a few miles from the coast, so you could hit the beach like probably within, if you're far out there, you're probably like 20 minutes or so. If you're a little closer, you're looking at like 15. So you do still have that. We got to avoid some horse droppings there. But yeah, so, but like Cassie mentioned earlier, a lot of the time you're going to be spending out here, you have these enormous, beautiful outdoor areas, entertainment areas. You got your pool area, you got your barbecue area, you have just like a big grass spot. So that's what a lot of you'll get when you're searching back this way, and it's kind of a hidden gem. A lot of people, like I said, don't know about it. But if you are thinking about moving to San Diego and this seems like a nice spot, just want to let you know we are real estate agents right here in San Diego, so feel free to reach out. Our number is popping up right now. Pause it, screenshot it, call, text, or email. We got your back when making the move here to San Diego.